Hi guys, it's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. I did it. I found it. I told you I was going to find it and I found it. So, during the marathon, I played a clip of Joseph Kelly and Mason jars, but no one really understood the Mason jars. Well, not no one. A lot of us were there at the beginning because it this clip that I showed was like part 3, maybe part 4. So, I went back and I found the first clip where the mason jar happened, and you'll understand a lot more about Joseph Kelly when you rewatch this first clip, now that we've seen the second clip and the third clip. Also, Law Talk with Mike played it, um so and he shouted out to me, so there might be people coming over from Law Talk with Mike, and they had a lot of questions, and it's understandable. He he got it wrong a lot too, because there's no way for him to know what really happened. We know what really happened. He kept calling him her husband. So, a quick summary: Bill didn't stream. There was a day back in, I can't remember if it was November or December. Bill didn't stream. I know. I know. It's hard to believe. I know. I know. I know. But, oh, sugar. Yeah. Happy Easter. Happy Easter, guys. Sorry. Well, so it was Bill and Allie then. Bill and Allie did not stream. So I hopped on and I'm like, okay, don't worry, guys. I got something. Let's go. And that is when I played the first Joe Kelly clip. All right. It was a different time slot. It wasn't my 4:30 a.m. So a lot of my normal vibers didn't see it unless they were on replay crew. So I'm going to show the first clip today. I'm going to go back in time now that we saw part 3 or 4, I can't remember. And we're going to see part 1. But it doesn't explain it. This isn't the right one. Then I think part 2 explains it best. The woman was married to a man, and he became disabled somehow and he couldn't have sex with her anymore. So they decided to bring one more person into their marriage, and that it was Joseph Kelly. And the woman already had 4 kids with her husband, and then proceeded to have 2 children with Joseph Kelly. And it's kind of, this is important for only this clip, not really the future ones, but none of them were any kind of religion during the whole baby producing years. All right. Religion is, they go on and on about religion in this clip, and it it wasn't a factor when this was all going on. All right. So they kick him out, but he wants custody of his kids, and then the mason jar incident happens. And when that happens, he loses custody. Oh, I can't remember when he loses custody, but the mason jars happen. She calls the police. They get a protection order. And then they're supposed to follow, you know, suit. They're supposed to follow these visitation rules. And all these 2 can do is fight about it. Every tiny little thing they fight about. Everything. So this is the first go in front of this judge. And you will have to admit, he has gotten much better at lawyering over the years. We'll see. You'll see him try to struggle in this first clip. He will cry again. He's going to cry. But it's fine. So you're going to hear me talking incessantly, because that's what I did that night. You're going to hear a lot about Bill and maybe a story or two. I don't know. I don't know what I said that night. I have no idea. I just gotten off work. I Bill wasn't streaming, so I rushed on my computer and I said, "Okay, let's go. Let's stream." So here we go. Shut up, Kathy.
Car almost into my body.
Okay, wonderful, sweet. Thank you. So you were
Okay, on that note, this is the wife and this is the husband. And they're in court or they're divorced. I don't know if they're divorced yet. This could be the divorce case. I don't know. Here we go. We know
walking
now they
down
were
your
never married.
driveway.
Which curves?
You were walking down your driveway, Mrs. Hetzer?
That's correct. Which
Okay.
curves towards the
Thank you very
road?
much. Can you go to page 1 of your petition for a temporary protective order, the February 19th incident?
I don't think I would
Can you go
play
to the
them.
middle of the paragraph where it says, I backed away from his vehicle and turned my camera on. At this point, I was between him and the road in the driveway. He began driving on the grass, and I was continuing
No,
to
sir,
move.
as I've explained to you, Mr. Kelly, you asked questions of her and
Thank you, Your Honor. I apologize.
and Mr. Kelly, I'm being very patient.
Yes, sir.
Your question is,
Your testimony today is that you were walking down your driveway. Is that true?
I did walk down the driveway. Yes.
And in this motion, do you state that you were walking down your driveway or backing away?
I don't know if I was walking forward or backward. You were driving toward
Can
me.
you please read what you wrote?
I was, okay, I'm not sure what the question is. You want me to read what I wrote?
Did you write, I backed away from his vehicle?
That is correct. I did.
Today, you're stating that you were walking down the driveway.
I did both.
You were walking forward?
At one point, yes.
Can you point out in this paragraph, read the section where you say, I was walking down my driveway?
When it says I backed away from his vehicle, I was on my feet walking away from you.
So you never at any point walked towards the path of my vehicle?
That's correct. I did not.
Ronna, can we play a video, please?
well, we're going to apply the rules of evidence, Mr. Kelly.
Okay, I would like to
And
introduce
the question first is, before it can be played, it needs to be admitted into the record.
Okay, I'd like to admit a video. Into the
No, so we've got to do it in accordance with the law.
Okay, sir. I've got an easier solution if it
You got a what
pleases the
now?
court. I have an easier solution if it pleases the court.
Well, I don't know that it does until I understand the solution.
One huge problem we're going to see here is this judge speaks very, very slow. And this man speaks so fast that he's already speaking before he starts speaking. So that causes issues.
So I've got a, can I read Can I give this to her? This is Abel Rios's.
What is?
This is an incident report for that incident filed by Deputy Abel Rios of the Bleckley County Sheriff's Office, where he describes what the video shows.
I have showed this judge a couple other times, but I do no idea what his name is, and I don't think anybody else shows him.
Well, that would be
They don't.
hearsay. Is
Well, Law Talk does.
the deputy
Because of me.
present to testify?
Cindy Hetzer is.
All right, and you're going to ask her what? Is that what she said to the deputy?
The deputy is describing what is actually visual. Can we, I would be happy to enter the video as evidence, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Kelly, I'm not opposed to that, but you need to follow the rules that you need to follow for me to accept it into evidence. That's all I'm saying to do. I'm not trying to impede you, but I want the rules to be followed.
Sir, if I could get access to the internet, Bleckley County Courthouse.
I believe this is Jefferson County, Georgia. It's either Jefferson County or I think Dawson County.
Website, I can look up to see what that rule is, so I can comply with
I
that
was
rule.
wrong. It's
We're
Bleckley
in
County.
court now.
There's no lawyers. It's just husband versus wife. Nah, he's a lawyer. She's such a liar. Jesus. He wants to stop the court proceedings so he can go look up the law that he needs to introduce a video because he does not know how to introduce it. And the judge said no.
Why did you walk down your driveway?
Because I was afraid of you.
Why didn't you walk towards your house?
I don't know. That's a good question. I wish
Why
that
were
I
you
had.
banging on my window?
Because you had indicated that you had, I wasn't banging, I was knocking.
You were not.
And you had
banging on my window?
indicated that you had something for me.
You weren't banging on my window? You weren't angry?
No, sir, I wasn't angry.
Did you convey fear to your children?
She did bang.
I'm not
Were
sure
you
what that
aware that
means.
your children
We
were
saw it.
watching you angrily banging on the window? Were you aware that your children witnessed that?
I was aware the children were in the car.
And you were still choosing to angrily bang on my window?
As I've already said, I wasn't angry or banging.
Did I have an obligation to give you a jar that morning?
You had indicated you had some for
Did I
me,
have
yes.
an obligation to give you a jar
Mr.
that morning?
Kelly, when you pose a question to her, you're going to show respect to allow her to complete her
I don't know.
response
Have we
before
seen him
you
before?
make any additional comment.
Yes, sir.
Do we have an understanding to
Yes, sir.
that? You can answer his initial question.
Sorry, what was the question, please, again?
Did I have an obligation to give you a jar that morning?
An obligation? No, but you had indicated you would.
Give her that.
Do I
jar.
have an obligation to follow through with something that I chose that I would do previously?
Do you have an obligation? No, but that's why I took the actions that I took.
Were you seeking conflict that morning?
No, I was not.
I asked you for a jar that morning, correct?
You had asked
Are
me
you
for,
saying a jar?
A jar, yes, sir, a mason jar.
Okay. All right.
My door is ajar.
And it's actually on the record, Your Honor. This
No, sir, I just wanted to make sure I appreciated what you were saying.
a jar, it's a mason jar.
Okay.
Did I send children home with milk in a mason jar regularly from my house to your house?
occasionally,
wanna
yes.
know.
And on this particular morning, did I ask for you to return one of those jars when you brought the children back to me?
Yes.
And what was your response?
My response was, I think that that's my jar. It had my lid on it.
And then I told you that it was my jar.
You indicated it was your jar that you had gotten from a Christmas party.
And then what?
And I said, okay, I will send it with the children. And then you said, and I have some jars for you. And I said, okay, just send them back with, can you send one of the boys back to me at the property line with my jar? And you said, no, you need to come to my back door to get it. And I said, I'm not coming to your house. And you said, well, then I'm not sending your jars back. And then I said, well, then I'm not sending your jars back. And then you said, I will just bring them to your front door. And I said, please park behind the silver gate.
When you walked to my car asking for the jar, did I respond to you?
No, you did
What
not.
did I do?
I don't recall what you did.
Did I ignore you?
All right, Mr. Kelly, we're here for this extraordinary motion about new evidence, perjury, and not to rehash what has previously been heard by a court.
This has never been heard by a court, Your Honor,
All right, and how is it relevant then to?
because this is what,
Ooh, we had an understanding. When I speak, nobody else speaks.
Except
You speak
me.
over me
Uh-huh.
again.
Come at
Sorry,
me,
Judge.
Judge.
Do you understand?
yes, sir.
How is this relevant to the issues in your motion, sir?
She admitted to perjuring herself about this in front of Magistrate Brown. Everything about this incident that she put in this affidavit is a lie. And she admitted to it on talking to Magistrate Brown.
So how is her saying what she's saying today at a mission of what was said to Magistrate Brown?
She's saying that I tried to hit her with my car. And that's not what was established.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with these mason jars and swapping back and forth? And it just appears to me, Mr. Kelly, that we're getting a little far from the subject matter of your motion.
No,
Kind of yag
Judge, stop. Let him go. I want to hear about the jars.
and back and forth between each other.
Yeah.
And I'm not inclined to allow that. I'm here today to hear your legitimate evidence in regards to your motion.
So I don't have any more questions for her, Your Honor.
All right. Is there anything you would like to say, Ms. Hetzer?
No, sir.
Why don't you step down?
So she divorces her
I
husband.
forgot to hit like yesterday, but I didn't tell Kelly, but then I remembered.
Shut up. She divorces her husband and then
Kelly,
she
you can
marries the lawyer
Call
she
your
has
next
in this case.
witness and understand, I want to make sure you appreciate that you've got the right to testify if that's what you wish to do.
Yes, I'd like to call Max Hetzer, please. Max Hetzer,
Hester?
her husband.
Okay. I didn't quite hear you. There's a little bit of an echo.
Okay,
This
okay.
is the
If it's
first
her husband,
time we
then
see
they're-
him.
they're already divorced and they're talking about the kids. This is the whole custody battle.
I was wrong
All right,
there.
Mr.
They were not divorced because they were never married. This is the first time we see the husband and the only time we see the actual husband involved. And he gets up on the stand, I think.
Hetzer. Mr. Hetzer, if you'll come, step up in the witness box. Once you get in the
So,
witness box.
not
if you'll raise your
paralyzed.
right
Look at
hand
that.
For me, please.
Walking pretty darn fine.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the
They were
whole
never
truth and
married.
nothing but the truth, so help
They
you
were
God.
married, but they weren't married.
All right. Please take a seat. After you're seated, if you state your name for the record and then.
So our
spell it for the
marriages.
Benefit of the court.
My name is Dr. Max Edward Hetzer. And what else? I'm sorry.
Spell it for the court reporter, your name, please.
Maxhet as in Tom, Z as in zebra, ER.
Thank you, sir. You may begin with your examination, Mr. Kelly.
You live at 137 Lucas Road.
I do.
Are you married to Cindy Hetzer?
Yes.
What is your relationship to me?
I don't have one.
You don't have any relationship with me?
Is you? No.
Okay. Were you in your driveway working on your boat on April 2nd?
I do not recall.
Your wife was screaming something from the driveway. You
Wait
were
a
working
minute,
on
wait a
your-
minute. He said he didn't recall being in the driveway. So if
Do you
you've got another question, did you hear anything? You know, but just because, when he says he doesn't recall, then we got to go at it a different way, Mr. Kelly.
Do you recall being in your driveway working on your boat on a day that you heard your wife screaming from the driveway?
I do not recall being in my driveway working on my boat when you alleged that my wife was screaming.
Have you heard your wife screaming from the driveway
Many
When?
times.
on April 2nd?
I bet she wants him too. Woo-wee.
Do not recall. I don't recall April 2nd.
Have you heard your wife screaming, "He's a felon," from her driveway?
No.
Your wife testified on April 25th that you heard it.
I have heard screaming on some day. I don't know exactly when that was.
So you're saying your wife's testimony on April 25th that you heard her is not true testimony then?
No,
No, what?
that's not what I'm saying.
So when she testified on April 25th that you were May 9th, that you were in your driveway working on your boat and she was screaming, "He's a felon, he's a felon," and that you heard her, she was lying to the court on May 9th. Is that what
I
your
was not
testimony
in the courtroom whenever that testimony was placed, so I do not know.
I'm telling you that that's what your wife testified to. You're saying
Thank
He
you.
said
Custody.
he doesn't know, Mr. Kelly. Let's go on to another line of questioning, please.
Just so you know, this is not custody, nor is it divorce. This is a motion, I don't know what he called it, to accuse her of perjury and lying to the court. And he, just like we saw during my stream, he has motion after motion after motion saying that she lied.
so you don't
We go through 2 motions today, I think, just 2. The other one is he wants a protection order out against her. She has a protection order out against him right now. And I believe the protection order that's in place is not do not contact. It's do not harass or record. I think that's what it is.
know. Is your wife honest with you?
Yes,
Always?
yes,
Is there any time that you've been
I hope not in front of all of us.
dishonest with your wife?
yes.
And so there's never been a time when she's dishonest with you?
As far as I know, no.
Never?
I do
That
not know.
question's been asked and answered. Let's go on, Mr. Kelly.
I'm sorry, I don't know enough to get where I need to be. So I guess I'm done with him. I don't know how to, they're defrauding the court and they know it. And they know it.
We need some tissues over at
Do you
the
have any more
plaintiff's table.
questions of this witness?
No.
You step down. I'm going to ask that you go and stay outside the courtroom.
I'd like to call James Rockefeller.
I'm sorry.
James Rockefeller.
All right, need Mr. Rockefeller.
Okay, James Rockefeller is her lawyer now, but she doesn't have a lawyer for this part. It's her lawyer in all the other ones. Defrauding the court. Yes, that's what this motion is. She got it last time we watched. And she married him. So I don't know why her name is still Hetzer. It is still Hetzer today, or it's hyphenated, but she married this lawyer.
Do you think any lawyer would have taken this case? I guess for money. Yeah, lots of lawyers would.
You should see what I do
Mr.
for money.
Rockefeller, if you'll be
at work.
kind enough to come and stand in the witness.
If you wander over to the members only videos, that's all on you. You're being warned right now.
That was the towel
It-
video.
the content is a little bit not PG-ish.
Box there, upon arriving, if you'll raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You can be seated.
Thank you.
Upon being seated, if you'll be kind enough to state your name for the record and then spell it for the benefit of the court.
A. James Rockefeller, A. period James, James, Rockefeller, Rockefeller.
Bonjour. Hi, Charlotte. I'm so sorry about everything you're going through right now, Charlotte. I wish I could give you the biggest hug.
You may proceed, Mr. Kelly.
Are you honest, James?
Yes,
Have you ever directed Cindy Hetzer to omit details from the court?
I cannot answer that question because it's protected by
Have you ever
attorney-client privilege.
directed?
Hold on just a minute. Mr.
Sorry.
Kelly.
I thought it was
Yeah.
done.
All right, this is his stream right here. This is Bill's stream. Everybody, this Bill had technical issues. So this is Bill's stream. If the content during this stream is really good, it was his content, him and Allie's content. If the content during this stream was bad, I put bad stuff on Bill's stream to sabotage him.
Sabotage.
Bill, I'm so sorry you guys had technical problems. It sucks. I know Allie's running around all over the place. No, this judge is, I've put him once or twice before, but I doubt it.
This was months ago. Please. I did not just say on a stream that Bill has technical problems last night. I didn't. This was months ago. If you all want to say Bill's going to cancel his stream because of technical issues, go ahead. But I didn't see that. I just didn't.
I highly, highly doubt it that Cullen played this judge. Because you have to get him in a different way.
You heard him still talking. Mr. Rockefeller, as I understand it, you're invoking your right of privilege in light of the fact that you were representing Ms. Hetzer at the time
Yes.
of the incident. He's
Me and Bill are in fierce competition. Fierce.
asking you about,
Yes,
you'll need to go on to something else.
Yes, sir. Can I get clarification? Are we just talking about the motion for the extraordinary motion for a new trial, or are we talking about the other motions that are scheduled?
We're talking about, we're taking them one at a time.
Okay,
Mr.
I understand, sir.
He does not
So you have
understand.
never directed your client to lie to this court?
I cannot answer that question.
Okay. Have you lied to this court?
I have not,
Not under any circumstances?
not knowingly.
I don't have any more questions for him about that incident, Your Honor.
All right.
Nice.
Mr.
That was a
Rockefeller,
good
I'm
one.
gonna ask that you go back outside.
Bonjour.
Charlotte, that
All
was
right,
you I
call
said
the
hi
next
to back
I
then.
don't have any more witnesses.
You do not wish to testify.
I think that was her lawyer during the divorce or the custody trial. This is an ex parte motion for an emergency change of the protection order
True.
by him.
She spits facts.
Sure, I can testify.
All right, if you'll be kind enough to come up to the witness stand.
Can I bring stuff?
You can bring whatever you wish to bring, Mr. Kelly, but you're gonna need to identify what it is you're testifying from, okay? All right, Mr. Kelly. You've seen the other witnesses. You've raised your right hand. Thank you. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
You can be seated if you'll be kind enough to state your name. And after you state your name, If you'll spell it for the benefit of the court reporter, please.
Joseph Kelly, Josephkelly.
All right.
On,
Now, understand this, Mr. Kelly. You can use documents to refresh your memory, okay, about your testimony. But if you want the court to rely on those documents, they're gonna have to
Okay.
be admitted into evidence, which means you've got to follow the rules of evidence to get them admitted.
yes, sir.
Too late.
Go ahead, sir.
On April 2nd, Ruth Skaggs and I were walking down the street with my two sons, Connor and Oscar. Their mother was coming from the opposite direction. And upon seeing us, she was about 200 yards away. Upon seeing us, she crossed the street and came to us, deliberately got into our path. And in that moment, after she started hugging the boys, I saw she was holding her camera.
She deliberately got in their path to give her children a hug.
So I turned my camera on to record the incident. And this video is present on the cell phone and the computer that's currently in the possession of the GBI. So the incident that she's denying is recorded, is on video.
Don't Google it. What is Oscar holding in his hands? Don't Google it. Don't Google it. Just don't Google it. You can just not. Does anybody know what Oscar is holding in his hands?
The tail end of the interaction. After she hugs the boys, she passes me, like brushes past me, like angry. She thrusts her phone out in front of her, like arm extended out like this. And she sticks it into Ruth Skaggs' face as she walks by. And she's got this, as evidenced by the video, this angry scowl on her face. And nobody is laughing. I apologize to, or when I see Cindy Hetzer doing this, I say, "Are you crazy?" to Cindy Hetzer. And she continues to walk away backwards, filming Ruth before she turns and goes up her driveway. And the incident is over as far as Ruth and I know. I apologized to Ruth. I said, "I didn't know that was happening. I'm sorry. We should have gone the other way." And Ruth said she was, I can't say what Ruth said. We continued about our trip. We started walking and we were talking about the incident. And the next thing we know, Cindy is screaming. I hear somebody screaming and I look back and Cindy is standing at the foot of her driveway next to the roadway screaming, "He's a felon. He's a felon. He's a felon." On March 25th, she threatened to tell Ruth that I had a felony background. On March 25th, she threatened to tell Ruth that I had a felony in my record.
Well, let me understand something, Mr. Kelly. Is that a true statement?
I'm not,
Patrick,
yes, sir,
that
it
is
is a true statement. I'm not claiming she's defaming me.
Okay. I just want to make sure I understand.
It's family violence. She was trying to destroy my relationship with Ruth before it began. That was her motive. It was
Yes, it does.
vindictive,
Yes,
and
it
it was
does.
mean, and it was
Yes, it
spiteful,
does.
and it was deliberate, and it was angry, and it was disgusting.
Georgia.
It was disgusting because she couldn't.
We're
Yes,
not
sir.
here for you to comment about your
So
feelings about it, Mr. Roy. We're here today for me to determine whether you have sufficient evidence to warrant me granting a motion, extraordinary motion for new trial.
on May 9th, on April 8th, rather, I went to the Bleckley County Sheriff's Office with this incident as part of the evidence of stalking and
Yeah, he right, I'm wrong. He right, I'm wrong. This is Bleckley County.
harassment, deliberate stalking and harassment by Cindy Hetzer, where Deputy Abel Rios and Deputy Dwayne Hunter told me that they weren't going to take my report seriously.
What a great question, Miguel. No, it is not. So Miguel, a couple weeks ago, I played a hearing in this courtroom, which was part 3. This, I went back and I found it. I found part 1. I found where we first got smacked with the mason jars. And I played it for, I'm playing it for you now. So you guys, so I can fill in, see, because you weren't here. You weren't here for the first one. So I'm playing it now. So you guys who didn't see part 1 can see part 1.
Because I waited so long to report all of the other incidents. And then they suggested that I move.
And I'm not going to allow you to testify about what somebody else
Okay,
said, Mr. Kelly.
I understand.
No,
So
JK, no.
So I went to report this incident, this April 2nd incident, to law enforcement. And I was directed to file a pre-warrant hearing for it, which I did. At that pre-warrant hearing on May 9th, Cindy acknowledged that she was screaming, "He's a felon," but she wasn't in the roadway. She was in her driveway. And so she wasn't lying
She did.
because she was technically in her driveway, not the roadway. And her statement was, "I didn't scream at them from the roadway." And everything that Cindy has testified to has been a little bit of the truth with some nefarious spin thrown in to make her look like the victim. And it's
While I'm working, while I'm driving, while I'm cooking.
repeated. It's like on February 19th, I'm just trying to pick up my kids and leave without conflict. And
Ruth is not dead.
immediately when I won't engage with her in the way that she wants me to, she sends me an email telling me that I attempted to run over with my car. On here recently, it's just a continual cycle of Cindy getting caught acting badly and then twisting it to make it about something that Joseph did instead to deflect from her behavior.
I love him.
Now that we saw part 3, I know she paused to talk again. She talks too damn much. Now that we saw part 3, and we were able to actually see the video, he did not try to run her over with his car in any way, shape, or form. He just didn't. She did pound on his window. So her whole reason for getting a protection order was, in fact, a lie. Okay? That being said, I see why she did it, because what he does now is he talks to her about the kids. If she doesn't answer the way he wants to, he files a motion with the court. And then he comes into court and he says, if I don't answer her the way she wants me to answer her, then she, everything has to be her way. And he cries. But the whole reason for the protection order was not correct. And if you remember, the judge is now, after part 3, going back to look at the protection order because he finally got to see the video.
Saying is, if I married him, I would be completely amused
Totally.
24/7.
Totally. Yes, I would.
And none of this was litigated on April 25th.
I would have a
My
blast.
attorney chose
My
to
God.
ask Cindy Hetzer questions about a 3.5-year-old breastfeeding schedule, to which she was admonished 3 times by the judge, instead of asking her substantial questions about her allegations in the Family Violence Protective Order. My belief, I don't have any more testimony about that incident, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Hetzer, do you have any questions for Mr. Kelly?
That was absolutely helpful for his entire case. I get it now.
All right, you can step down, Mr. Kelly. All right, have any other evidence, Mr. Kelly?
No, sir, not on that motion.
All right. Ms. Hatzer, do you have any evidence you'd like to present to the court in regards to this motion?
No, sir, I didn't realize it was being heard today. I do have evidence, but I don't have it.
That's fine. Well, it was duly, notice was duly sent. All right. Do you,
You see the problem of that whole text, don't you? You see the problem? Not one person here knows what 250G means, unless we're buying drugs. Then we do. But, and where are you going to get eggs? You can afford eggs? Oh my God, you're rich. You're using 3 of them? It sounds so good. A French person? Ugh, that's too much. It's overload.
wish to make an argument, Mr. Kelly?
Yes, sir.
I know what G means. I bought drugs before. Shit.
So credibility
Vanilla
is supposed to
sugar?
be paramount in family violence court, any court. We're supposed to be honest when we're testifying. On May 9th, she apologized to the court for stating that. She admitted that she did it. She told the judge, and the judge said, "You're not afraid of him, and I don't believe anything you say that says you're afraid of him." Sarah Wall, in her protective order, doesn't put any restrictions on me whatsoever about that. Sarah Wall didn't believe that I posed a threat or a risk to her based on her testimony, based on the facts that she presented.
I thought Judge Wall issued an order, a family violence protective order in the case.
Yes, sir, but it didn't include any stay away or any restrictions against either of us. We're still permitted to, it just prohibited surveillance and following
look at
and
that.
malicious activity. It didn't
Vanilla sugar.
prohibit anything else that we were normally doing
What?
on a day-to-day basis with our children, except for restricting how we could communicate with each other.
I want that so bad right now. I want to make something.
She
like
admitted
that.
to lying, and her distinction in the courtroom was that I wasn't in the roadway when I made that statement, so I wasn't lying. And I don't have the computer, so I don't have the internet. So there's a Georgia code that identifies that any act intended to defraud, or any device intended to defraud the court, and a statement that I'm not in the roadway, I'm in my driveway is an attempt to deceive. She didn't say anything to us, and she did. Her testimony about the almost hitting me with her vehicle.
Sounds
The
heavenly.
police reports
Oh my
say
God.
that didn't happen. Law enforcement, Sheriff
Ham
Tate,
and cheese.
Jeff Simpson, they were here and they heard her say, I wasn't in the roadway. I was in my driveway when I was screaming.
If this is too sad, let me know and I'll stop it right away.
As if it was a defense for lying
No, I won't.
and taking my kids from me.
Take it to the one away tab.
She's a liar, Your Honor, and the record is abundantly clear. Anytime that she's made an accusation about me, there's some incident that
True.
preceded her in that accusation. And so I just request that you look at her credibility and
Can you hear me? I have a message saying my browser is lost. Oh no, I think I'm gone now. Can you hear me?
Technical issues back then. Yep, that makes sense.
I've got no camera. What is going on? Can anybody hear me? Okay, I'm gonna press play.
Look at the facts. Look at her
Green.
motivation versus
Get my green
mine.
screen.
Further, you have told me that you rejected my affidavits because they weren't certified, and so I had to correct that.
When was this? now?
It was in the
I've seen you twice.
No, I'm sorry. When I say you told me, I meant through your motions and through your actions. I filed affidavits of indigence that you rejected because they were unsigned.
No, sir. I reviewed those. I was not given the complete record. I reviewed those. You made some or stated some concern about those. And then I subsequently entered an order saying that upon your filing verified affidavits of your indigency, I would then sign an order saying that you were in fact indigent. And I have done that.
I'm not disputing that, Your Honor. That's not the argument that I'm making.
I don't understand your argument. And, go ahead.
So I submitted an unsigned affidavit to the clerk, and she submitted to you, and you responded saying, I will accept this once it's certified.
Once it was notarized.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's the argument that I'm making. That you,
And then in what regard is that applicable to this scenario?
she submitted an unsigned, unnotarized affidavit to a judge who signed it,
Well,
notarized it.
she submitted a verification that was sworn to in front of Judge Johnson, who verified it. You were not present in front of me when I was presented those documents.
Okay, then I don't understand. Yeah, so finally, I guess, to my last argument is the conclusions of law and facts that were due from the court by Sarah Wall. And Ms. Hetzer's,
And what basis do you say they were required by?
It's not fair.
What law is it that you say they were required?
OCGA 9-11-52A.
And Mr. Kelly, that is the Civil Practice Act.
Civil.
That's a code section within the Civil Practice Act. My understanding of the law that the Civil Practice Act is not
Is Fozzie just gonna be late all the time from now on? Is that how we're gonna live now?
apply to family violence. Now, if you have something to the contrary, I will consider that.
Yes, sir. In her petition, for a family violence protective order, she requests facts, finding of facts and conclusions of law.
That was her request.
Yes, sir.
Can you show me where you made the request?
Zero notice. Not much. Zero notice. I just streamed. But the only reason why I streamed is because I was under the assumption that Bill and Allie were having real technical issues. And then you guys were just sitting around and waiting. So I was like, bet, I'll just put something on real quick.
There's no contingency that
Hey, Melissa.
I can't ask for them. They've been requested by a party into the case.
Sorry, I assumed that because that's what I was told by them.
And if you'll give me some law that says you can't request it.
They've already been requested, Your Honor, and the court has not.
Yo, I'm serious. If you guys haven't seen Bazi's daughter and her 3-point shots, holy crap.
She's
It's the most amazing
amazing.
thing ever. You gotta watch her videos. She's a superstar.
Obligation to fulfill that request. And if, as soon as I find it, I'll quote the law for you.
All right, where is it in the petition?
Can I bring this to you, Your Honor? It's the page 4 of the
Hang on just a second and I can pull it up.
petition for a temporary protective order. Paragraph G.
Hi, Chaz.
Fletcher, what's your favorite song?
No, I really was. I thought I was being nice. Was I not being nice? I wasn't. I mean,
And here, one person made a comment to me that destroyed me for days. For days. For days, I walked around feeling like a total asshole. I don't know who made the comment, but they didn't mean it. They didn't mean anything bad about it, but this comment hurt. Let me tell you.
sorry.
All right, it's on page 4, you said?
Yes, sir. Section G.
Section D?
G is in God.
G, thank you.
He is in spot. God, come on.
Now I feel guilty all of a sudden.
All right.
I didn't mean it.
The judge is reading. Just relax. Think he's reading a civil law code, but I'm not sure.
I'm going to fast forward it a second till we hear some talk. Oh, he's reading? Is the judge reading right now?
I just told you that.
Yes, Mr. Kelly, in reviewing the order that Judge Wall entered in this matter, it is the standard order that is promulgated by the
Thank you, Bill.
Uniform Superior Court rules. And it has,
That was a heartfelt thank you, Bill, because I felt like crap. And he let me off the hook for a second. I still felt like crap, though.
it does state certain facts.
They're all Velcro.
So I hear you, but I'm just wanting you to understand that.
It may be moot for you at this point, I don't know, but there's a writ of mandamus filed with the Supreme Court asking Sarah to, Judge Wall to.
That's between you and the Supreme Court.
I think it's a
I
fruit.
don't have anything to, I don't have anything I can do about that.
Don't worry, this only
I have
lasts
the authority
for a second.
to question the Supreme Court of what their actions are.
It was my intent in telling you that in case you just want to leave it to them and not address that part here.
No, sir, I'm gonna address your extraordinary motion for new trial. And you brought it up.
And that's all I have, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Hetzler, do you have anything you want to say to the court?
The only thing I would say, sir, is that both of the events that were testified to today in the roadway and in the driveway were also heard on the 25th. And this is the second time they're being heard. And I would ask for a final disposition of these issues. Can't continue to bring them up.
What she said was valid. It was valid. And look, I'm not going to get it verbatim because I couldn't very well hear her. She forgot there was a frickin' microphone. She's like, he has already pulled me to court twice about what happened in that driveway. And it has already been litigated. So I would ask that, I think she asked for a summary disposition so that he can't keep bringing her to court over what happened in the driveway that day. Well, we just saw part 3. And that's all he's focused on is that what happened in the driveway that day. And he won. He won that argument. The judge is now reconsidering his ruling. And we don't know what it is yet.
All right. Based on what has been presented to me here today, court's going to deny the defendant's extraordinary motion for a new trial based on new evidence, constitutional violations, and procedural deficiencies. Are you ready to go to your next motion?
Yes, sir. I'd also like to point out that
For everybody who came in late, like I said, we just got an answer for that one. All right. He wanted a whole new trial apparently, and he didn't get it. This one, I don't think we get an answer to, but I think we get an answer to. And I'll tell you why I think that after it's over.
I've
She was right.
requested findings of fact and conclusions of law for that.
She's so smart.
All right.
She said what happened in the driveway has already been brought up in court before and rolled on before, and it's up again. And she said that she said something really lawyerly, a final disposition on that issue so that he cannot bring it up again.
Which one did you want to hear next?
Where
Your
did you
Honor?
make that request?
It's in the pleading, Your Honor.
Okay.
It's section C of the prayer for the.
All right. Thank you for reminding the court that that was there.
Happy Easter.
I'm not sure what all, I can't access the internet, so I don't know what else is calendared for today.
Well, we've gone over that a couple of times this morning, but I will go again. The next motion I have is defendant's emergency motion for temporary protective order and modification of the existing family violence protection order.
Okay. Did you remember that? Please remember that. Okay. Because I'm not going to. Emergency motion to modify the family protection order and whatever. It just means he wants a protection order against her now.
To prevent ongoing family violence.
Okay,
Because of violence.
I have an exhibit here for the court. This has happened over the 3rd or the November 6th.
Absolutely, Patrick. You and me both.
Once again, you've got to you have to follow the rules of evidence, Mr. Kelly. And for me to consider anything.
Your Honor, I'd like to present this printout of a text message that I received on November 6th to the court.
From the court?
Received from an anonymous party perpetrating family violence against me.
Wait a minute, you want?
This is going to shock a few of you who only see her as sweet and innocent.
To show me a text?
It's a series of texts, Your Honor. They've been going on for months, and I get them periodically.
No, you drunk?
but you don't know where they're coming from.
They're anonymous, Your Honor, but there's specific information that indicates that they're coming from the Hetzers.
Oh,
I've reported these to law enforcement.
oh. The piece of information that indicates it's from the Hetzers is so good. Do not leave right now, guys. Do not leave right now. Stay on your computer. Here we go.
I've offered to turn these over to law enforcement, and nobody's accepting them from me.
Well,
Don't pull out everything, please.
you're gonna have
Please.
to present. I mean,
Can I call myself as a witness and I'll testify to the existence of these text messages, Your Honor, that I can insert them
That'll
into
be fine.
evidence then?
that'll be fine.
Thank you.
Let's go. Here we
Once
go.
again, I need you to take the oath. And that was-
Do we believe the wife sent the messages? Hell yes, we do. I believe the wife is just ex-wife is just as bad as him. She's just smart and quiet.
like doing
Again,
the
they were never
business.
Hi,
married.
Victoria.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give.
Victoria sent me the best TikTok today that would piss half of everybody in here off. I sent it immediately to my family.
is
It
in
was
this
so
matter,
good. Oh,
is
yeah.
the Truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right, if you'll be kind enough then to state your name for the
Well, let me
record.
tell you, Chinny, what happened. This is part one. A lot of you came in to see part two, and part three we just played during the marathon. This is part one, talking about the jars, which you missed because you came in late. This is how it all began. So she does have a lawyer. She married him. He was just on the stand because Joseph Kelly called him up there. She doesn't have the older lawyer yet. She's going to get him in part two. But for these motions, it's just them two together.
And spell it for the benefit of the court.
Joseph Kelly, JosepKelly.
All right. Mr. Kelly, you've indicated you want to testify about some documents.
Yes, sir. So,
Are there text messages?
yes, sir. Text
And how do
messages.
you have them marked as an exhibit?
They're unmarked as an exhibit.
They're
I
going to need to be marked and they'll need to be placed into the record.
I will mark them as. Can I get a pen from my,
Here you go. Here you go.
she's giving me one, sir. I'll give her hers back and take yours.
Give her hers back and take yours.
I'll mark it as this defendant's exhibit A.
All right.
I miss you, Melissa.
On November 6th at 8:53 PM.
First off, what is the document?
The document is a printout of a text message that occurred on November 6th between 8:53 PM and 8:59 PM.
It was something you received?
This is text messages that I received
Okay.
about an hour and a half after conflict with Cindy Hetzer.
Okay. That question, I think I have the answer to. And it's a great question. And I could be wrong, but I think I have the answer to this. So, her and her husband were married, and they brought him into the relationship. And now they're having custody where they drop the child off at the property line. So right now, today, they live beside each other. I think they lived beside each other the whole time. I think he was just a neighbor. And the reason why I think that is because when you break up with someone, you don't move right next door to them. You really just don't move, even if their kids are there, even if your children are living there. You don't just move into the house next door to them. And what a coincidence that would be if when they broke up, the next door house was just available for him to buy or rent or lease or whatever. So I think they were next door neighbors the whole time. And still are.
All right. And you
Um,
wish to admit them?
Yes, I'd like to admit these as evidence.
Ms. Hetzler, do you have any objection to the documents?
No,
Okay.
I don't have a copy of them, sir.
Have you not seen this letter C?
She saw them because she sent them. Oh, you came at a great time.
Yes, sir.
Buckle up.
Is that the copy?
Buckle up.
Is
Here
that,
we go.
is that the copy you've marked as the exhibit?
No,
And I let her look at it, and then Ms. Hetzler, if you have an objection, let me know.
I have no objection.
All right, that's submitted without objection. Now you can publish it to the court.
At 7 p.m. on Wednesday, November 6th, Cindy did not facilitate the court-ordered telephone call between the children. And shortly there, about an hour after that, I started getting these text messages. The first one was at 8:53 p.m. It says, "You should kill yourself. No one will miss you." And then the next messages are one after
Oh, that was me. My bad. I thought that was to someone else. I'm sorry, sir.
the other. "Are you listening, loser?" at 8:54 p.m. Then at 8:55, "Take a little piece of glass and cut your wrists."
I'm reading. I can, believe it or not,
I-
Mr. Kelly, I'm capable of reading.
I don't know if you want me to read it or
I do
not.
not. We've
Okay.
already
want you to read it.
submitted into evidence, and I'll consider it.
So the importance of this is to take a little piece of glass is the significant piece that ties it to Cindy Hetzer. While she and I were in a relationship, I used to have this recurring dream where there was a piece of glass that I had fallen, and there was a piece of glass in my wrist, a small piece of glass in my wrist. And in my dream, I'm trying to get the glass out, but as I'm trying to get the glass out, I'm cutting my wrists more and more. And I ended up slitting my wrist in this dream with this small piece of glass. And this was a story that I conveyed to Cindy Hetzer probably 5-6 years ago. And so I believe that this text message is somebody referring to that.
You agree, however, there's nothing on this text message that identifies anybody.
You're right. I 100%
The
agree.
number 909-506-0417, that's your number.
No, that's the number that it's coming from.
I just couldn't when I heard that. I just couldn't. Your Honor, I would like to file a motion to put her in jail because I keep having this recurring dream. And in the dream, he keeps handing me this glass. Your Honor. He just said all that in open court.
Oh, okay.
And this is
Have
the,
you been able to establish
No.
these numbers?
so I usually, the first time it happened, I
The
tried,
question is, have you been able to establish these phone numbers?
no.
Okay.
There's been 4 of these messages over the past like 2 months, and they're just random. It's not any any specific time when I'm getting these.
Do you wish to put in all 4?
I delete them and I block the user because I was just putting it out of my mind. But this particular night, I was having a pretty rough night
Not funny.
emotionally,
No.
and it was compounded by the fact that Cindy chose to ignore the court order and refused to facilitate the court's ordered 7 p.m. phone call with the children.
I'm completely guessing here, but I think he was having a real bad day that day because of something to do with his lawn or his landscaping.
And she did so because the church wouldn't allow the children to leave the classroom.
Yo, that was mean what I just said.
The court ordered that the parent facilitate a 7 p.m. phone call. And this is not about the, do I need to, I would rather her testify about this than me.
Well, she didn't necessarily. Well,
I'd like to call her and,
are you three testifying?
yes, sir.
You may step down. Do you have any
I'm a
questions?
bitch, I'm
in regards
sorry.
to- Hold on just a minute, Mr. Kelly. Do you have any questions of Mr. Kelly
Chloroform.
in regards to defendant's exhibit A? You'll be kind enough to give that to the court. You wish to call on Ms. Hetzler?
Yes.
Ms. Hetzler, if you'll come to the stand, please.
I can bring documents.
Sure.
Kelly's right. We are wrong. Yo, I do not miss it. No, I
Ms.
don't.
Hetzler, if you'll
No.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give in this matter is the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I did.
You can have a seat, state your name for the record, and once again, spell it, please.
My name is Cindy Littleton Hetzer, Cindy.
If you read this text, Linus was in Texas at the time this happened. She was in the United States of America.
You just dropped that huge bomb in chat like it's nothing. Oh, I'm just sitting by Melissa. It's no big deal.
Littleton
Every day.
Hetzer.
All right, Mr. Kelly.
Do you have a court-ordered obligation to have a reasonable and adequate discussion with me before you make any matters, take any action in relation to our children?
The Family Violence Protective Order says after discussion, I make major decisions.
What does our 2020 parenting plan say?
The protective order takes precedence over that parenting plan.
No, it doesn't.
No, sir. You ask questions, you do not argue with it.
What does our 2020 family violence or our court-ordered parenting plan say about reasonable and adequate discussions about matters related to religion and our children?
I don't have it in front of me, so I can't quote that for you.
Happy Easter.
Is it your belief that the 12-month family violence protection order nullifies everything in the other court order?
No,
So is there anything in the 12-month family violence protection order that eliminates your requirement to have a reasonable and adequate discussion with me?
that is addressed in the paragraph that specifies that I make final decisions after discussion with you.
Look, if you want me to bring you a beer, you need to snap the correct way. If you don't snap right, forget it. I have a stupid question I need an answer to because I need to know if I'm making a mistake right now or not. I got off work and I ran to my computer right away, but I needed coffee. So I just ordered it from Sheets. All right. And I was looking through their list for coffee. I just wanted coffee, like cream, sugar, coffee. They don't sell things like that. So I got a latte. 4 lattes, actually. Is there coffee in here? Because it tastes like chocolate or something. I don't know. Is there coffee in a latte? Just tell me I'm drinking something with coffee in it, please. I need to know. Caramel something latte. Caramel something. Yeah, they don't have coffee. You can't just order coffee from Sheets. You have to, okay. Yes, thank you.
And that's close to what the language is. I don't have the exact language in front of me.
Non-responsive, Your Honor. She didn't answer my question.
Well, she said that the new order says that she's to make all major decisions involving the children after consulting with you. And I have the order, which is part of the record in this case, and that's exactly what it says. The
is
only thing that she omitted was that such consultation shall be made via email.
Okay, I'll ask my question again, Mrs. Hetzer. Is there anything in the 12-month family violence protection order that eliminates your requirement to have a reasonable and adequate discussion with me?
I've answered the question already.
Can you direct me to where it says that?
I can't.
You can't really mess it up. Dude, as long as there's coffee in it, I'll drink it. I don't care what it is. I don't really care what it tastes like. I just need the coffee.
Why not?
You haven't provided me with any documents.
Can I take this to her, Your Honor?
You may.
Melissa, pull over. Well, in her defense, she is also her own attorney. So she is allowed to, she should say objection, asked and answered, or objection, whatever. But she's allowed to object to questions like other people can't, right? No, neither. They're both pro se.
This is the parenting plan and family violence protection order. I don't have the 12-month. I'm gonna find that real fast, but I'm gonna refer to that in a moment.
Hey, wild child. Pro se fight night. While he's looking through that, does anybody know why the judge's stream from today isn't up?
Judge Fleischer. I was talking about Judge Fleischer. All good. You don't have to answer that question, people. I approve. It's
Don't worry,
okay.
it's only lasts a second. Yes. Hold on, let me double check. Was he in a brown jacket today?
What is your understanding about what happens with our parenting agreement with the family violence protective order in place?
The parts that the Family Violence Protective Order
Is that today?
specify
Or was that yesterday?
Yo. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, that's Michael. Michael Linus. Look how funny that is. Golly. Oh, is that? Nope, that's what it says. It does say what I think it says. I just think.
parts from the original order that are overridden by the Family Violence Protective Order.
And is there something in the family violence protection order that prohibits or that removes your obligation to have a reasonable and adequate discussion?
I've answered that question. This is the third time you've asked it.
You said that there is?
I've answered that question. This is the fourth time you've asked it.
Okay.
I don't
No,
see
I
it
can't
today.
find the order. And
I don't
can't-
see it up.
It does not say that in the order, Your Honor, and I can't find
I'm
it.
going
so-
to take judicial notice of what the order says in my decision.
Okay. So
History.
did you have a reasonable and adequate discussion with me before you enrolled the children at St. Patrick's Catholic Church?
Before I enrolled them in the church.
Before you took them to the church for the first time?
I don't know what that
The
means.
first time that I took them to the church, I did not have a discussion with you. I had a discussion once it became a matter that was important matter, which is when we decided to attend regularly after the first attendance.
So it's your belief that you don't have to discuss things with me until after you've made a decision?
No,
So you taking the children to church doesn't, are we Christian before all of this?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
Were you a practicing Christian before you filed this petition for a restraining order?
No, I was not.
So on April 21st or April, what was our agreement about religious education of our children before you got this final decision making over?
I don't recall having any agreement other than what was court ordered.
What was court ordered?
I believe that there was, I don't remember actually.
Do you not think it's a big deal to take the children to church? That's not a major decision to introduce them to God?
The one time that they attended at one Catholic mass, they received no appreciable religious instruction or education. And no, I don't believe that
Hi,
that was a
Jen.
major decision. Once I decided to attend regularly and began having the boys enrolled in children's activities, then I did consult with you at each turn.
Can you tell me what your consulting consisted of?
I would write you an email letting you know what I was thinking or
Yes.
wanting to do or
Yes.
the upcoming classes or whatever it was. And I would ask for your input.
Nothing beats Florida man anywhere. Nothing.
Your Honor, I've got all of the history of the emails here.
All right, here's a quick summary. So she had jars and he had a jar, and her jars were his and his jars were hers. Only the jar he had on it, only the jar he had her lid on it. So they were supposed to give the jars back, but the driveway is curved. The driveway is curved. I have to say that a couple times because the driveway is curved. The driveway is curved. And then he almost ran her over, or she was walking towards the car or away, and he's a felon. I think I hit everything.
With this discussion, the religious discussion that we had, and I cannot access
Good
them because I
job.
don't have access to the internet. I didn't realize they were cloud-based, and I can present them for her to testify to them and show the court that she's never had, she's making
Hi,
decisions
Chris.
and then telling me about them and asking.
Once
me-
again, Mr. Kelly, you present your case, and if what you attempt to present is admissible in the evidence,
And she found God without him. I'm sorry, I missed that. Whoo!
I'm going to allow it. If it's not, I'm
And
not
text
going to.
messages.
Can I
I'm
ask,
not going to tell you how to present your case.
is there any access to the court's Wi-Fi that I can access the court's Wi-Fi to get the documents from the web?
And that I don't know. You can ask the clerk, is there? They're telling me there's not. Why didn't you come with the copies made of it?
I just assumed that they would be available.
Okay, so you didn't,
Judge, I assume when I file a motion with you, all hundreds of them, that you'll just have them at your fingertips when I come into court.
make them available to the court. Okay.
Did you have a discussion with me before you enrolled them in the religious education classes?
Yes, I did.
What was the discussion?
To the best of my knowledge, because I don't have those documents in front of me, I let you know that I wanted them to
Can I just
begin.
inquire so I can be a little more attentive? What does religious upbringing have to do with violence?
It's family violence, Your Honor.
I understand that.
She's alienating the children from me.
All right, and what
Thanks,
statutory
Kat.
crime is that under the Family Violence Act?
It's emotional and psychological violence.
I
according-
understand, but what crime is it? The way I understand the Family Violence Act, you have to prove that there is some criminal activity going on.
Mason
I
Drive.
agree with you, Your Honor. There should be some evidence of criminal activity going on. You're 100% right.
Okay, so where is it?
Where was Cindy's when she petitioned this court?
That order has been issued.
Your Honor, can we have a recess so that I can get a phone with internet service so that I can access my records? I would need less than 10
We're
minutes, Your
going
Honor.
forward, Mr. Kelly.
In the middle of court, dude. You can't just,
And I'm
Find
just
something
merely
now.
trying to understand what your position is that religion has anything to do with some sort of criminal act under the Family Violence statute.
Is a violation of the court order or criminal act, Your Honor? It's my understanding that
It
a
may
violation-
be contentious, but I don't believe that it qualifies under the Family Violence Act. Hang on just a second and I will,
judge is Googling it himself.
refresh my memory at,
The Catholic Church got me in trouble at work tonight. They really did. So, you know, these people, they come in every week to play trivia and you don't win any prizes. You do get your picture put on Facebook with this trophy. So all these groups come in together week after week after week. And they try real hard to beat each other. And one of the questions was, besides weekly mass, what is the second biggest activity in a Catholic church? And I was totally joking. Okay. So, all right, let me back up a little bit. I'm very lively when I serve. Okay. I'm not very quiet. I'm very lively. So there was one question about, you know, which OG gangster put up bail money for the Lindenberg baby. And I'm like, OG gangster, that's me. You know, I shouted it out because that's just what I do. Well, when they said which activity it happens most at a Catholic church besides mass, right away I shouted out bingo. And that was the answer. And I'm not supposed to shout out the answer, but I didn't think in a million years bingo would have been the answer. So the Catholic Church got me in trouble today. I'm suing.
as to the, Family Violence Act.
She making bad decisions.
Just feel like we're about to watch this guy just lose it completely. Come on, unhinged. I mean, he's already unhinged, but they do take it seriously. That is a fact.
This does have a surprise ending though, guys.
Did I say bingo? Tonight was trivia. I'm sorry. I do bingo tomorrow. Sorry, I got them confused. It was trivia night. Oh, bingo. Yeah, I did say bingo, Catholic Church. I just caught up. I'm stupid. Not me. I remembered this time because yesterday I forgot for the first time and I felt bad. Does Victoria yell at anybody during today's Fleischer video?
All right. family violence is defined as any felony. And I don't see that her,
My coffee pot is 40 cups. 40. I just didn't have time to brew a pot of coffee right now because I started right after I got off work. These are the tiniest cups I've ever had. It's like a shot of coffee.
decisions about
Nice.
religion constitutes any
I don't
felony
know.
that I'm aware of under the laws of the state of Georgia. Or the commission of a battery, a simple battery, simple assault, stalking, criminal damage to property, unlawful restraint, or criminal trespass.
Hey,
How does
Liberty
this fall
Bell.
under any of those categories?
The state of Georgia, and I can't because I don't have access to the internet. The state of Georgia has defined family violence as emotional and psychological violence as well, Your Honor.
I'm reading the statute, Mr.
We can move on if you'd like, Your Honor.
No, that's totally up to you.
Okay, I'm ready to move on.
Might you have some additional
I
evidence?
do have a lot. I found some emails that I can ask her about.
Okay.
On May 14th, I was informed by, can I send her these emails, Your Honor? I only
You
have one.
send them to her, or can you show them to her, you mean? You can show them to her.
He's self-battered. He's self-battered. He does this to himself.
What
Idiot.
purpose are you showing them to her for?
So that she can refer, so that her memory is refreshed, so that she can.
You want to know why he doesn't have access to the internet? I'm going to tell you, and you're going to like it. He's not allowed to have his phone with him while he's in the courtroom. And why? Everybody else has their phone with them while they're sitting there. The lawyers do. Da, da, da. Not the people in the gallery, but lawyers. They all have their cell phones with them. I'm sure Mrs. Hetzler or whatever has her cell phone with her. He's not allowed to. You want to know why? He keeps recording everything with his cell phone. And I'm going to say this out loud. You're not allowed to record court hearings. And they caught him recording court hearings over and over again. So he's not allowed to have his cell phone at all. At all. They took it. They actually took possession of his cell phone. The bailiff has it. So, and the computer that he has right there at the table, no, they took the internet off of it. He can't have the internet on that computer. It won't let him, right? But actually, with that laptop, I could record easy. I don't need the internet to record. But that's why. That's why.
Can't say that I
Well,
don't remember.
let's ask her first whether or not she did, and if she doesn't recall, then you can present.
They were
You
here.
can stand at the podium there, Mr. Kelly.
You remember me asking
Probably
you on May
sleeping.
14th about Connor and Oscar's church attendance?
No.
So on
Did that said school burn down?
May 14th, I wrote to you and said, Connor informed me that him and
No, sir,
Oscar.
you don't get to tell her. She says she doesn't recall. Now, if you want to take the document and show it to her. But once again, Mr. Kelly, how does the concept of religion deal with family violence?
It's a violation of the court-ordered parenting plan and the family violence
But
protection order.
I've already reflected what family violence is. You're calling this an emergency motion for temporary protective order and modification of the existing.
It's
to
stalking, Your
prevent-
Honor.
Well, hold on just a minute. Now, I have warned you not to talk over me. Have I not?
Yes, sir, and I apologize.
It will not happen again, Mr. Kelly.
Oh, it happens again.
yes, it will.
sir.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
And then a modification of existing family violence protective order, ongoing family violence file.
I apologize for the Discord peep. This was before I realized I had to mute everybody in Discord. So if you hear any Discord beeps, I'm sorry.
Where is the family violence in her? Let's assume she has.
We might find out why today, but I'm not sure. You'll see what I mean. The ending is this is a bombshell ending. It's a bombshell ending.
Totally disregarded the court's order in regards to the religious upbringing of these children. How is that an emergency to you? How are you being threatened by that and by a criminal act?
With glass.
My children and I are having our right to companionship manipulated and denied by her. As I read the law, and I can't.
If I were her, I know it would shoot me right in the foot. I know that I would pay a heavy price for doing it, but I would be giggling my ass off at him right now, as close to the microphone as I could get, because that will definitely unhinge him.
I would. Oh my God, yes.
There's a family violence protection order that prohibits her and I from doing X, Y, and Z. And she
So you want to know how I know that I would be giggling at him the whole time to unhinge him? Because that's what I kept doing to my ex-husband. Every time we would talk about something and he would get mad. Oh my God. I got to tell you how much I approve of the giggling method, because they get irate. They get so mad when you giggle at them. Not laugh, just giggle. When you get in, the next time you guys get into a fight with your husband, try giggling the whole time he's talking about everything. Oh my God. Then run.
is violating that family violence protection order. I don't know what. I don't know what I need to say to make you aware that she's violating this court's orders.
I don't know what I need to say to make you think like I think. I don't care what the law says. The law says whatever I think it says, Judge.
I understand that it's your position that she's violating the court order. But how does that entitle you to an emergency temporary protective order or a modification of the existing order because of the ongoing family violence? I'm just merely asking you, Mr. Kelly.
Yep.
My appreciation of the law, that you've got to show some sort of violence. And I don't see it because in the scenario that you're presenting to the court.
Okay, can I continue with my?
Just so you know, this is part 1. So we've seen in part 2 and in part 3 that he often violates the court orders and the protective orders over and over and over again and goes to jail for it.
My questions for Cindy Hetzer.
I'm sorry.
I understand your position. I will move on.
All right.
Did you prohibit our son from hugging me in a waiting room last Tuesday?
I directed our son to sit down. You indicated that he should come to you because you used the medical visits as visitation periods, and I instructed him to stay seated. But no, I did not. You actually got up and came and hugged him in his chair.
I asked Oscar for a hug. What did you say to him?
I said, stay seated, I believe.
So
Some variation of, please stay seated.
why is Oscar not allowed to give me a hug in a waiting room?
I didn't indicate he could not hug you.
I asked him to give me a hug. You said,
Question's been asked and answered. Let's go on.
yes, sir.
And once again, hugging, how is that a criminal act?
I'll show you, Judge.
Parental alienation, Your Honor.
I'm sorry.
It's parental alienation.
And I understand that, but I don't see where
It's-
that is a criminal act.
It's family violence.
Please giggle right now, please, lady, please. I'm begging
I'm
you.
merely trying to understand what criminal act it is, Mr. Kelly.
Okay, is it, I'm assuming that the court read my motion. And so I don't know what else. I mean, you granted a scheduling order based on my motion. So I'm assuming that there was some sort of a basis for you to have this hearing because you've read the motion. I'm assuming that because you scheduled the hearing, you saw that there was some value to it. And now that I'm trying to argue what's in the motion, you're telling me, no, it's not family violence. I
No,
don't
sir.
understand.
No, sir, you filed a motion, and I had previously filed orders that I was not going to issue an order as to a motion without them being heard. Did I not?
Yeah. So, well, can we,
And I'm being, the fact that I scheduled a hearing is not reflective one way or the other of the merits of what you filed.
okay, so every time I ask her a question to try to get on the record what she's doing, you tell me, no, it's not relevant. It's not family violence.
Well, I'm just asking you so I can have an appreciation. How does it relate to one of these acts that are required under the Family Violence Act? And that's a legitimate question.
Judge, you made him cry.
Can I have a recess, please?
We've been going at it for 2.5 hours. We can take a recess. We'll reconvene at, it's 11, you might as well say 11:25.
Ozzy, thank
We'll reconvene
you.
at 20 minutes to 12.
Your Honor, can I have permission to bring my phone for a hotspot so I can access records?
Yes, sir. Let's
Thank you.
allow him,
He's gonna record.
understand, Mr. Kelly, you're to use it solely for a hotspot.
Yes, sir.
You can't be recording. There's prohibitions about that.
Yes, sir.
You understand?
Yes, sir, I understand.
Let's let him have his phone solely for the purpose of having a hotspot.
Okay, you know how every time she does something that ticks him off, he files a motion with the court, right? Hundreds of motions. Well, all of those motions are not against her. He filed 6 motions for this judge to recuse himself because of this hearing right here. 6.
Hmm. My son left this in the car and he wants it. Can I give it to Cindy to give to him?
You can put it on what is it?
It's a toy.
Are you familiar with that tool?
No.
It's a Lego toy.
All right. You take it back and she'll find out whether or not he left it And if she did, you can get it to him later.
Can I leave this here?
Can you leave what here? Sure. I will be in recess until
left
20
all
minutes
that
to
here.
12.
Can I step down
Your Honor, can you ask Mrs. Hetzer not to talk to James or Max about these?
Don't talk to anybody about what's going on. And likewise, Mr. Kelly, you don't talk to anybody about it.
I doubt it.
Who's going to talk to him? And
Hey, thank you so much, guys.
Shut
Look
up.
who's here. There's like a real celebrity in the house. Not that you aren't, Bill. Bill, this is your stream. This is so you are the celebrity. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this was good enough content.
okay, just so you know, because this was Bill's stream, I kept all $1.99. I didn't share it with him.
That we're gonna say this is Bill's content. Bill did this whole stream. He just had technical issues, so he couldn't do it himself. Thank you, Bill. Thank you for the super sticker. It's so I love that red.
Sort of.
You're awesome,
Yeah.
awesome, awesome. and
He's not
amazing.
here. That was the
I
other
shall
stream.
see you in Judge Fleischer's courtroom soon. He's there every day, guys. So remember how I said we don't have an answer to this? He never came back.
He never came back.
He left all this stuff here. And trust me, I was watching and watching and watching because I needed to know. He never came back. Now, it's possible they're going to finish today. I don't know. But if they never finish, I'm pretty sure we have a good idea of which way the judge is leaning on this one. He's going to say that they are not going to change the protection order because there has been no crime here. Yeah, is she mean to him? Abso-freaking-lutely. Oh man, this judge is definitely slow-mo. So slow. And it gets people in trouble because when he's talking, people think that he's done. And then they jump in and start talking. And then
I know she's talking a lot, but I just want you to see. I want you to see that he never comes back because I'm about to show you.
he's like, don't talk over me. Hi, Precious Chaos. Yeah, I was watching and waiting. It's also possible that the judge forgot to press the live stream when he came back.
That's
Look,
possible.
I'll show you. I'll show you. Hold
See,
on.
look.
I'm going to show
watch.
you what I got today.
car almost into my
Okay.
body.
It's 6 hours and 45 minutes. So this is the docket. And then you tell me if you see him come back online. And maybe I just missed it. He was supposed to come back at 12. This is around 12 right here. Nothing. Just black for the rest of the day. This is around 5. So it's, there's nothing else going to happen after 5. And it is Bleckley.
So the next time we see him in part 2, he's in jail. He's doing it all from jail. And this is where he doesn't have any binders and he just has manila envelopes. No folders. No. Anyway, doesn't matter. And they start talking about how the throuple worked in part 2. So go watch part 2. But that should have answered a bunch of your questions that you guys had, which I couldn't adequately answer during the 15-hour stream, 12-hour stream. I'm just going to say 20-hour stream. Yeah, no fort material, none, zip. So I am 100% sure. I have no doubt in my mind that we're going to get lots more from him because, again, he has hundreds of motions and he keeps filing more. It's at a point now where he's not allowed to file anything else unless he puts it in front of the judge and the judge agrees that he's allowed to file that. He's not allowed to file any more motions at all. And he does have many in appeals because he wants that judge recused. Every time, like he said it in his last hearing, he talks to Cindy. He asks her one time. If he doesn't like her response, he sends it to the lawyer, her lawyer, and then he files a motion. So, for example, the court order said that they had to exchange the children for parenting time at a county law enforcement spot. Okay, so there's the sheriff's office, there's the jail, there's a couple places that they're allowed to go. They didn't specifically say where in the court order, though. Well, he wanted it at this one sheriff's office, which was not so. Like, I live in Lancaster County, but I also live in Manheim Township. Within that county, I live in Manheim Township. So I would be allowed, the court order said a county law enforcement agency. So the Lancaster Police Department would be one. However, he wanted to exchange them at like Manheim Township Police Department, which is in the county, but it's not countywide. It's just Manheim Township. She said no. She said the court order says we have to exchange them at a county law enforcement. Manheim Township is not a county. It is just for the township. So no, we can't exchange them there. He got pissed, filed a motion. He filed a motion to the court that she's in contempt and blah, 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 because she does not want to exchange the children at the township sheriff instead of the county sheriff. And that's just one example. Every single time they have the slightest disagreement, he files a motion. And she has final say, yeah, okay, they are both insufferable. However, no one's going to be shocked when I'm about to say what I'm about to say. If it's his fault. He is unbearable to deal with. And if I had to deal with him, shit, there would be motions all over the place because I would be an absolute bitch. Absolutely. I would not give that man an inch. You want to go to court again? Okay, let's go. Let's go. No, you can't go to Manheim Township. Nope, that's not what the court order says. Is it closer to my house? Yep. Would it be easier on me? Yep. Are we going to do it? No. Hell no. I'm not giving you nothing. I will cut off my nose to spite my face if I had to deal with that man. I would. I mean, I'm planning ways to do it in my head right now, and I don't even know him. I would definitely invest in a whole bunch of little pieces of glass, and I would, I'd be leaving little pieces of glass everywhere. I'll be putting them on his porch. He's right next door. It's not like I'm stalking him. He's next door. She is spending a lot on lawyer fees, but not really, because I mean, her husband was her lawyer for most of it. Now she's got a new lawyer, but her husband's a lawyer, so she's not struggling financially. I'm sure she gets child support for 4 of her kids from the first baby daddy. And I'm sure Mr. Kelly, when he's not in jail, pays child support for the other 2. I don't know. Fences are expensive. My neighbors, there's not a fence big enough because they go out there and they stand in the street and they scream and they swear, and it's the kids versus the mom. And it's every morning. It's 6:44. So in a little less than 1 hour, they're going to be outside screaming and swearing at each other. Get your ass in the car. No, I'm not going to school. Get you. I'm going to pull you by your hair and get you in this car. Every morning, right? Every night, too. Screaming, swearing. My husband sleeps in his car outside, has for years, years, because he can't stand it inside that house. My daughter parked behind my car in the driveway 2 days ago, and the back of her truck stuck out a little bit. Now, just so you know, like, this is the back of her truck. This is the ass end, okay? I have another car parked immediately right here, and it goes out, to the, so her car, her ass end wasn't in the street at all. It was where cars park on the street, but it wasn't in the street at all. It was well within. And I got text messages all morning. Can you please move that truck? I can't pull in and out of my driveway. The fuck you can't pull in and out of your driveway? Yes, you can. Oh. So fences, they don't make fences big enough. And I get more pleasure out of, taking the trash that they throw in my yard when the kids are outside playing and just tossing it right back in their yard. They get so mad. I park my car. We share a driveway. All right. It's a double wide driveway. Our houses are connected. Okay. I park my car as close as I can to the very edge so that she can barely open her door. And I do this because I don't know what's the best way to say this. She's an extra large and she has a big van. So if I park in my driveway close, it's very hard for her to get into her driver's seat. But the only reason I do that is because she keeps calling the cops on me for no fucking reason. None. She calls the cops on me all the time. And every time she calls the cops on me, I move my car over a little bit more. Yep. They don't make a fence big enough. They don't. It's fine. I'm not doing anything illegal. I am parking in my driveway. I'm not doing anything illegal. Nothing to her. I just park it in my driveway. Wherever I went in my driveway, it's my driveway. This is a home we, paid for. I can park anywhere I want in my driveway, and she can park on the street. My mother, who used to live here, because she used to park in front of our house on the street, my mother's boyfriend got a doctor to say he was disabled, right? So because he got a doctor to say he was disabled, handicapped, he had a handicap placard. So my mother had the township put up the 2 handicap parking posts right in front of our house so that she couldn't park there. She wasn't allowed to park there. They just call the cops all the time. I had DoorDash the other day, right? Coffee. I ordered coffee from DoorDash. It was after work or something, but right after I ordered it, I accidentally just fell asleep for a couple hours. I fell asleep, and the coffee, they delivered it to my porch. She called the cops and had them do a welfare check on my house because there was coffee on my porch and I didn't get it. So that obviously means that I died. She had the cops come and do a welfare check on my home because there was a cup of coffee on my porch for a couple hours. I fell asleep. Yep. It's all the time. It never ends. I don't care. She can call a cop all she wants. There's nothing here. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm too tired to break the law. So, but yeah. Love thy neighbor. I love her, all right. Yeah, well, I drink coffee. I order coffee and then I drink it whenever I drink it. I don't drink coffee like when I just had that first cup, which was nice and hot and delicious. But yeah, I'm a server. We drink and eat cold food all the time. Yeah, curtain peeker, her kids. My garage door, my brother-in-law ran into it with his truck. So the bottom is off the rail. I can't get it back on the rail. It doesn't matter. But it's off the rail. So there's a crack, right? Her kids were putting their cell phones in the crack and recording my garage inside my garage. And then Anthony pulled home and saw them looking inside of our garage. What the heck? I don't get it. Off the rails. But then, like, like I said, she's extra large. She's very large. She fell not too long ago. She fell, and she was just sitting, sort of in her driveway, sort of in her yard, because, like I said, she's extra large. And my son gets home, and she can't get up. She's stuck there on the ground, cannot stand up. And my son is really strong, but he couldn't get her up. He tried to help her up. So he called his friend, and it took two of them, and they picked her up and they got her in the house. He didn't call the cops and say, hey, you need to do a welfare check because she's stuck on the ground. No, he picked her up and he put her in the house. But I don't know. It's just she's frustrating. She's very, very frustrating to me. But I ignore her most of the time. I just ignore her. As soon as she sends me a text message, I archive it. Archive. I'm not getting her that. No, I'm not. No way, man. Her kids live with her. Well, her kid, and then their kids. So it's the grandmother, the mother who just screams all the time and yells all the time, threatens her kids all the time. And then there's the kids that just swear and scream and yell. And then there's the husband of the daughter, and he just sleeps in the car all the time. Son of a... Oh, God. I had the chance to call the fire department out, and I missed it. Oh, my God. I could have called the firemen out to help her up. Oh, you helped her up. I'm so thankful. How could I ever thank you? Oh, they drive me crazy. But then, like, the people across the street love them. My next door neighbor, love him. My one person right across the street, I can't talk to because my sister burglarized her house. She's just a single mother. I mean, she's just a single person. I don't know if she's a mother. I never saw kids. But my sister didn't just burglarize her house. She took a 57-inch flat screen out the front door. So she doesn't want to talk to me. She doesn't realize that me and my sister, I am not my sister. She's lived across the street from me for so long. Oh my gosh. And we never, ever speak. Ever. Because I'm too embarrassed to speak to her. She has to think I'm a criminal. I wouldn't trust me. Nope. And she left her garage open and went to sleep the other night, and her garage was open all night. And I was just like freaking out. I'm like, do I go across the street and do I tell her her garage is wide open? It's 2:00 in the morning. Anybody could wander in there. I can't. If I go over anywhere near that house, if I step anywhere near that house, she's going to think that I'm burglarizing her. I don't want her to live in fear of me burglarizing her. I do not. So I left the garage door open. I was wide awake because I do my court stuff all night long. And where I was sitting, I had a perfect view of her garage door. I sat there all night and I watched her garage door, and I made sure no animal or no human being went in that garage door. But I couldn't go tell her. Because if I would have told her, she would, I don't want to live in fear, you know? So, yeah, no way. I am absolutely not going to call the police. Because what if she's a criminal? And I call the police because her garage door is open and she goes to jail for 10 years. Hell no, I don't want that on my shoulders. Happy Easter, John. All right. I've kept you guys way too long. Yeah. I am going to start John. I'm going to start OJ in 2 minutes. Okay. I'm just going to run and then I'll be back and I'll start. Yeah. No, they don't call the cops on the other neighbors. They just call the cops on us for no reason. No, you didn't. Oh, hell no. I don't have enough content. But if it's a permanent thing, it's $1 a minute. Yep. Hell yeah. You know how $1 a minute, baby. Baby, I'm worth it. All right. I really have to go because, you know, I'm 52 and I just sat here for 2 straight hours and drank coffee. I'm going to start OJ as soon as I'm done. Bye, guys. Love you. I love you all so much. I'll see you again real soon. Bye.
Got these life echoes, digital dreams. Through the screen, her blue eyes gleam. Wicked humor, sharp as a knife. Her stream sparks electric light. Late night when the world sleeps, she's the friend that always keeps. Giggles roll like thunder loud. She stands out in any crowd. Kathy's laugh cuts through the gloom. Eyes blue like a summer's bloom. Her humor, dark and twisted charm. In a way, there's no alarm. Streaming tales waiting to the night. Her laughter feels just right. Even when my world turns gray, with a giggle, she lights the way. Her eyes near a sky so blue. In her jokes, there's a truth so true. Wicked streams, she brings the light. Turns dark days into bright. Kathy's laugh cuts through the gloom. Eyes blue like a summer's bloom. Her humor, dark and twisted charm. In a way, there's no alarm. Streaming tales late into the night. Her laughter feels just right. Even when my world turns gray, with a giggle, she lights the way. Kathy's life.